council is back from executive session, so the public is aware. No vote was conducted on the item under discussion, nor was any vote taken to appropriate public monies.
Public hearing?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So back to the first public hearing, which was a local law amending the charter of the City of Long Beach regarding miscellaneous provisions.
Good evening, everyone. So what this item is a lot of legal language. What it essentially does is it adds a new notice of claim requirement for all claims that are not personal injury claims against the city. Just so everyone knows, typically what happens when someone sues the city for a personal injury, they file what's called a notice of claim. This basically adds a new requirement for all other types of claims against the city. It's essentially another line of defense for the city, help protect taxpayer dollars and defend against cases brought against it. Will it eliminate every suit against the city? No, it's just another line of defense. And there's that legal memo presented by Mr. Pombianchi, Assistant Corporation Counsel in the office, who is the one who suggested this, and we'd like to congratulate him for his good work on it.
Thank you, Rich and Stephen, for your hard work. Do we have any questions from the council at this time? Any questions from the public on this item? Seeing none, the hearing is closed.
Thank you. Second public hearing is for a local law amending the charter of the City of Long Beach regarding city officers.
Dave, would you mind calling both public hearings since they're kind of the same ilk?
Okay. And this will be combined with the third public hearing, which has the same title, local law amending the charter of the City of Long Beach regarding city officers.
Okay, good evening again. So item number 2 is essentially kind of a plain language and ongoing project with my office and the city council and the city manager to go through the charter, update it. This item number 2 essentially capitalizes lots of different titles where appropriate. Not much more to say on that. Item number 3 is a reorganization of what was previously Section 11. Section 11 of the charter outlines the appointed officers of the city and enumerates them accordingly. Just by way of example, city manager, treasurer, corporation counsel, city comptroller, etc. Those are the appointed officers of the city. You would analogize them to like the cabinet of the executive or something to that degree. So these officers are enumerated just like they are in Section 2. What's different about this in the reorganization is that for these specific appointed officers, the city manager appoints and the city council confirms, kind of like your confirmation hearings that you see, Senate confirmation hearings for big public offices in the federal level. Aside from that, everything else is relatively the same. Again, it's just a reorganization of that section. So with that, I'll take any questions.
Thank you, Rich. Ms. Trustin?
On item number 3, section A, can you just give us a definition of confirmation? It's in the last sentence.
Right, okay, so you're referencing all such officers shall be appointed by the city manager upon the confirmation of the city council, right?
Correct.
Okay, so what confirmation means in plain language? It means a vote. So city manager appoints, confirmation by city council means they vote. City council can't take any action except as a body. The only way they can act as a body is in front of you all. So it'll be a vote.
Thank you.
Thank you, Liz. Any other questions from the council? Any questions from the public on this item? On these items, right? Seeing none, the hearings are closed.
Okay. Our fourth public hearing is for a bond ordinance authorizing financing for various capital projects in and for the city, stating the estimated total cost thereof of $11,296,749, appropriating said amount therefore, including the expenditure of any state or federal aid expected to be received in connection therewith, and authorizing the issuance of not to exceed $8,377,000 bonds of said city to finance a portion of said appropriation, and further authorizing any amounts received from the United States of America and or the state of New York to be expended towards the cost of certain of such capital projects as indicated herein, or redemption of any notes and bonds issued therefore, or to be budgeted as an offset to the taxes for payment of the principal of and interest on said notes and bonds.
Controller Resnick?
Good evening.
Can you lift the mic up?
Down. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
No,
No, is it on?
it's a little higher, probably.
That should be on.
Can you hear me now?
No.
Now?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, so the item number 4 is the ordinance, is a bond ordinance. It as a Schedule I or Schedule 1, it lists all the projects that are to be authorized for financing via this ordinance. The total is not to exceed $8,377,000, and all these projects in this bond authorization were approved by the City Council in a capital plan that was approved, I believe, on May 17 of this year. I'll be happy to answer any questions that you have.
So, Controller Resnick, you're basically saying that this is just a secondary step in the process of which to actually approve the financing for the authorization that the City Council already approved in May of 2022.
That's correct.
Thank you. Any questions from the council? Mr. Bendo?
Just a quick one. Thank you for all the information you sent this afternoon. Just so I understand correctly, one of the tabs you had included was that FY23 maturities by fund. So I just want to understand I'm reading it correctly. So we got about 17.7 coming off in this fiscal year?
Yes.
Okay.
Of which, yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Can you interpret that in layman's terms, what that means?
So when city issues bonds, they're either for 15, 20, or 30 years, and every year, just like your mortgage amortizes, the debt amortizes as well. So this year, fiscal 2023, which started on July 1st, 2022, and is going to be done on June 30th, 2023, the city will pay on various bonds that were issued in the past, on bonds and notes and leases. This includes everything. $17.7 million.
Very good, thank you. Any other questions from the council? Any questions from the public on this item? Seeing none, thank you, Controller Resnick.
All right.
I have to close the hearing.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay. At this time, I have a motion to reflect in the minutes a finding by the City Council that the local laws in items 1 through 4 tonight will not affect the environment and that no further environmental review is required at this time. Do I have a second?
Second.
Voting, Councilmember Apostoli.
Yes.
Councilmember Lester. Yes. Councilmember Bendo.
Yes.
Vice President Treston.
Yes.
President McGinnis.
Yes.
Okay, on to the regular calendar. Item 1 is a local law amending the charter of the City of Long Beach regarding miscellaneous provisions. A hearing has been held on this item already. Item 2 is a local law amending the charter of the City of Long Beach regarding local officers, city officers. A hearing has been held on this item already. Item 3 is a local law amending the charter of the City of Long Beach regarding city officers. A hearing has been held on this item already. Item 4 is a bond ordinance authorizing financing for various capital projects in the city. A hearing has been held on this item already. Item 5 has been taken off the calendar. Item 6 is a resolution authorizing the city manager to enter into a contract for the hauling of undigested sludge from the city's wastewater treatment plant.
Commissioner Fabrizio.
Good evening, Joe Fabrizio, Commissioner of Public Works. This is a resolution authorizing the city manager to enter into an agreement with Clear River Environmental Services Corporation for hauling sludge from our wastewater treatment plant to the South Shore Reclamation Facility at Bay Park. The hauling fee is $899 that is, per 5,000 gallon truck. The disposal cost at Bay Park is $505 per 5,000 gallon truck. Therefore, the total cost per 5,000 gallon truck is $1,404. At 3 per day, the daily disposal cost is $42.12. That's $4,212. Under our current agreement with Tully Environmental, we're paying $2,400 per 7,000 gallon tanker for hauling and disposal. At 2 per day, the daily disposal cost is $4,800. This was a 6-month agreement that expires on November 18, 2022. In summary, under the proposed agreement, it's more cost-effective to haul and dispose of sludge at Bay Park. The cost is $4,800 in lieu of $4,212, for a savings of $588 per day. Funding is available in the capital and operating budget for this exercise. If you have any questions, I know they may have some on this. I'll be happy to answer them.
Mr. Lester?
Yeah, Joe, this is something I really never do, but you had written to the council, there were questions, and I just want to read it because it's incredibly enlightening.
Sure, go ahead.
There was a question about, back in September, you had told us it was cheaper to go to New Jersey than to go across the bay.
That's correct.
And we all questioned that. And you responded, you're correct that you were told in September it was cheaper to extend the current agreement with Tully to haul and dispose of sludge in New Jersey rather than Bay Park. I had solicited a, quote, hauling and disposal bid, close quote. LBWWTP to Bay Park, which required prospective bidders to haul only 5,000 gallon capacity unibody trucks filled with sludge to the primary digester. And you explained that 5,000 was all that could go over the bridge and stuff.
That's correct.
To my dismay and disbelief, only one bid was received, Tully, at approximately $1,245 per haul. Only from Long Beach to Bay Park. If you add Bay Park disposal costs to the proposed fee of $505 per 5,000 gallons, the total cost for hauling a 5,000 gallon truck under the new scenario would be $1,245 plus $505 or $1,750. At 3 per day, the cost would be $1,750 times 3, $5,250. Under the current contract, we're paying $2,400 for 7,000 gallon trucks, and since we're disposing and hauling 2 7,000 gallon trucks per day, we are spending 24 times 2, which is $4,800 a day. Therefore, based on the results of the bid, in September it was cheaper, i.e. $4,800 to extend the bid with Tully to dispose and haul 7,000 gallon tanks to New Jersey than to haul and dispose 5,000 gallon tanks to Bay Park, $5,250. Moving forward to the end of September, it was bothering me. It did not make sense, and I could not wrap my head around the logic that it was cheaper to dispose and haul to New Jersey in lieu of Bay Park. I decided to put the bid on the street again. This time I changed the title from, quote, hauling and disposal, quote, close quote, to hauling, quote, close quote, services. Previously, I had changed the content of the bid to hauling, but left the title the same. I fear that had inadvertently limited the field of bidders by having hauling and disposing in the title, when in reality the bid was for hauling only to Bay Park. The $505 disposal cost of 5,000 gallon truck could be paid under a separate agreement to Nassau County. It turns out the exercise was prudent. We received 2 bids this time around. While Tully submitted a bid exactly for the same price, $1,245, Clear River's bid was $899 for each hauling 5,000 gallon unibody tankers. Under this scenario, the cost of a 5,000 gallon tank is $899 plus $505 or $1,404. Thus, the daily cost on the proposed Clear River contract is $42.12 per day. In summary, the cost under the proposed agreement will be approximately $42.12 a day in lieu of the $4,800 under the current contract, of $588 savings. I hope this answers your questions and addresses your concern. Joe, the fact that you put it out to bid again, the fact that we got 2 bidders, the fact that it bothered you is just, it it's such an inspiration.
Oh, thank you.
I just want to say
I
that.
wasn't sure where you were going with that. so thank you, yes. Thank you, yes.
There you go, take it and leave.
No. No, thank you. Thank you, yes.
It just is, it's a great way to do business. And, people say, oh, $588 a day, what's that? That's money. It's money. At the end of the year, that's a lot of money. So, thank
Thank
you.
you for those comments, I appreciate that.
Thank you, Joe. And you're an inspiration.
Oh,
Thank
I
you.
appreciate that.
Any other any other questions from the council? Any other comments? Any questions from the public? See, Mr. Hodge.
Good. How are you, Joe? I'm here to talk about you. James Hodge. Just wanted to applaud Joe. I've had over 23 years to work with Joe, and Joe has always been a professional, courteous, and always ready to get back to the community when he could. Sometimes the city would stop him over the years, but was always ready to just give information, and information is very important. And so I've always found him working with Commissioner Rabb to just be a very professional and always helpful to the city of Long Beach. So I think he is a great person in a great position, and if he doesn't know, he's going to call all of his friends throughout the country and throughout the world to get the right information, and he will present the right information. It's just that if it is accepted. So again, I just wanted to applaud you as a former co-worker. I appreciate someone taking the time to applaud you and thank you, and I just wanted to applaud you because I know that you're a good man, and I thank you for being watchful for the city. So thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
Okay.
Next item.
Item 7 is a resolution authorizing publication for hearing of a local law amending the charter of the City of Long Beach regarding assessment levy collection of taxes. This item is a publication only. A hearing will be held November 1st at 7 p.m. On to the voting. Okay. Item-
Mr. Beno, can we proceed with voting at this time in terms of the hearings?
I would say so.
Yes, please proceed.
Okay.
Mr. Lester, do you have any questions?
No, you said, I didn't understand what you said. We were going to block vote on this?
No.
No, not
Okay.
block
All
vote.
right,
No,
good.
no.
Good.
Yeah, what did you have for dinner? We just want to make sure we were all comfortable with proceeding with the voting on the hearings from tonight.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Dave.
Okay, item 1 is a local law amending the charter of the City of Long Beach regarding miscellaneous provisions. Who introduce and move the adoption of this item?
I will.
Second?
I will.
Voting, Councilmember Postoli.
Yes.
Councilmember Lester.
Yes.
Councilmember Bendo.
Yes.
Vice President Treston.
Yes.
President McGinnis.
Yes, and excellent work by the Corporation Counsel's Office.
Item 2 is a local law amending the charter of the City of Long Beach regarding city officers. Who introduce and move the adoption of this item? Second?
I will.
Wait, who had,
You just go first.
he got first? Oh. I had it reversed. Voting, Councilmember Postoli.
Yes.
Councilmember Lester.
Yes.
Councilmember Bendo.
Yes.
Vice President Treston.
Yes.
President McGinnis.
Yes.
Item 3 is a local law amending the charter of the City of Long Beach regarding city officers. Who introduce and move the adoption of this item?
I will.
Second?
I will.
Voting, Councilmember Postoli.
Yes.
Councilmember Lester.
Yes.
Councilmember Bendo.
Yes.
Vice President Treston.
Yes.
President McGinnis.
Yes.
Item 4 is a bond ordinance authorizing financing for various capital projects in and for the city, stating the estimated total cost thereof is $11,296,749, appropriating said amount therefore, including the expenditure of any state or federal aid expected to be received in connection therewith, and authorizing the issuance of not to exceed $8,377,000 bonds of said city to finance a portion of said appropriation, and further authorizing any amounts received from the United States of America and/or the state of New York to be expended towards the cost of certain of such capital projects as indicated herein, or redemption of any notes and bonds issued therefore, or to be budgeted as an offset to the taxes for payment of the principal of and interest on said notes and bonds. Would you just move the adoption of this item?
I will.
Second?
I will.
Voting, Councilmember Postoli.
Yes.
Councilmember Lester.
I voted against this in May, and I'm going to vote again no.
Councilmember Bendo.
Yes.
Vice President Treston.
Yes.
President McGinnis.
This particular vote includes some items from that were approved by the New York State Financial Restructuring Board, thanks to the help of Senator Todd Kaminsky, which includes a fixed assets management system and a time management software system, which is vital to the future success of the city. And I really appreciate everyone's work on this, and I vote yes.
Item 6 is a resolution authorizing the city manager to enter into a contract for the hauling of undigested sludge from the city's wastewater treatment plant. Won't you just move the adoption of this item?
I will.
Second?
I will.
Voting, Councilmember Postoli.
Yes.
Councilmember Lester.
Yes, and thank you, Joe.
Councilmember Bendo.
We're trying to get Roy to eat less bran, Joe, but yes.
Vice President Treston.
Yes.
President McGinnis.
Yes.
And finally, item 7 is a resolution authorizing publication for hearing of a local law amending the charter of the City of Long Beach regarding assessment, levy, and collection of taxes. Who will introduce and move the adoption of this item?
I will.
Second?
I will.
Who got that one?
Karen.
Voting, Councilmember Postoli.
Yes.
Councilmember Lester.
Yes.
Councilmember Bendo.
Yes.
Vice President Treston.
Yes.
President McGinnis.
Yes.
City Manager's monthly personnel report has been filed by the city clerk. Who will make a motion to close the meeting?
I will.
Second?
I will.
Voting, Councilmember Postoli.
Yes.
Councilmember Lester.
Yes.
Councilmember Bendo.
Just in case anyone didn't know, since we've been sitting here, the Yankees won 5-1.
All right.
We're moving on in the playoffs. Yes.
Vice President Treston.
Yes.
President McGinnis.
Yes.
Okay.
Now proceed with good and welfare. Mr. James Hodge.
James Hodge here in this great city, Long Beach, which I love and was born in. I go way back to 1976. I just wanted to say I would like to thank God for the Historical Society and their great event, and I would encourage the city to continue or do more for them as they hold the records and hold a lot of historical data and information for the city of Long Beach. They're an important organization, and I would say please support them any way you can. Also, I would like to say when we talk about the critical infrastructure project, I know it was something said that I want to satisfy Crystal, so let me give a report or something like that. I think that's not the right words, and I think that it's to give a report, to give information to the whole city of Long Beach. Again, I think that it's not until, and I believe that the low-income or minority community or the community that's suffering in the Norfolk Park should not have to always fight for what is right. And when it should just be information given, I think when you look at the records of when the city started really looking into this whole Bayfront, the money that's coming in for the critical care, it's not until it was cries from the community and a lot of emails. And you don't have to believe me, but go by the history of the emails and when movement started really happening a lot. And I think that the community should have a meeting with all parties and entities together, not after the fact, but we are very much a part of whatever goes on in that community, and it should be held in the community, in the city of Long Beach Martin Luther King Center building. And I think that is urgent, it's important. I'm calling on this city and all entities. The city is the lead, it's in the city, there's money there. We've been waiting for years and years and years. Please, I request an urgent meeting to let us be a part of the update. Let us be a part of speaking and hearing from every entity. Why is there a delay? Let us have a meeting. Let the community be a part of it, not decide and then come back. That's that. Also, why is there no Hurricane Sandy anniversary? I believe that we had such a time here in this city of Long Beach, and there was everybody. That's the number one time that everybody in this community and city of Long Beach came together. Black, white, Jews, Gentiles, people that believe, people that don't believe, Muslims, everybody. Why can't we take time to call on organizations to come together and do it? So as I close, in this Heritage Month, Spanish Heritage Month, it's nice to give out a little award, but I think if we truly care about the heritage, there's 17% of Hispanics in Long Beach. It should have been the Latino Civic or Circolo. The city should have just called on them. So again, let us really celebrate. That rainbow is beautiful. It has everybody in it. Let us celebrate everybody. President, I thank you for indulging me. I appreciate you. Let us again have that critical care infrastructure project. We'll be speaking to more people around the state.
Thank you, Mr. Hodge. Thank you very much.
Madam President, could I just make a clarification? Mr. Hodge, thank you so much for your comments. And thank you, because I actually had to clarify something I said earlier on, right? With regard to my reference to Ms. Lake, you wouldn't know this, or maybe you would, but Ms. Lake has been in regular correspondence and sent several emails, right? And part of my reference to Ms. Lake was just to acknowledge that she has been sending emails. I agree. This is something for the public. I don't agree, however, that negotiations of this deal are public. There's been ample public discussion on what this project entails by Commissioner Fabrizio. He's talked about it. It's his swan song. It's one of his many swan songs. And to the extent we can update the public on the actual progress of the project or if anything changes, I'm more than happy to share that after the fact. I cannot share details of negotiation. I don't see how the public is involved in this portion of it.
I just say, can they come and meet? They can say what portion they're doing, whether it's this, whoever it is. I'm not saying that we have to be all in detail, but just having a public meeting where you bring the entities to the table. Again, I always say, if you're not at the table, you're in the middle. You're on the menu. Why can't we come together? If the community is not a part of anything, why can't we come together? I don't understand. They're only giving an update with the entities.
I understand your point. I understand your point, right? My function, though, right, is to represent the city's interests, right? The city's interests include all the constituents therein. And so my job is to try to make a deal or get to a deal, right? Because it's not a litigation. It's two parties trying to work a deal out. And so naturally, when you negotiate with someone, sometimes you hit some roadblocks. I'm not looking to the whole history of it. I'm just talking about right now. So once the deal is hashed out, I think we can have great public discourse on what the next steps are, right? Because this is only one piece to the bigger puzzle.
Thank you. At this time, thank you, Mr. Hodge. Thank you.
We just given one.
Thank Helen Dorado, LSE.
Good evening. I'm Helen Dorado Alessi, representing Long Beach Latino Civic Association. I wanted to take a moment to thank the City Council and the staff of the city for working with us so closely on our Hispanic Heritage Month kite Flying Festival of September 24th. I just wanted to let you know that over 300 children were given free kites, and many more family members were there. We're hoping that the city will recognize that this is something we should do on an annual basis, because we haven't had a Hispanic Heritage Month event since the mid-90s. It's a little embarrassing. We're a progressive city. So I'm going to be coming to the city for next year, 4 events, and I'm hoping you will be a part of that.
Thank you for your partnership. Wanda Brooks. Good evening.
Evening. Wanda Brooks, East Hudson Street. My question is to Corporation Counsel. I was wondering, are we still negotiating the insurances with Long Island Railroad? Or we've gotten past that, or you can't answer that? I know you said at one time.
I don't remember what I said at one of my updates, but I believe I said at one of them that we were past the insurance issue, and that most of what we're focusing on right now is around environmental issues specifically. But I can't really say much more than that.
Okay, so there was like 3 or 4 insurances that the city of Long Beach didn't have, but we're good with all the insurance now.
The insurance issue was that some of the insurances required were pretty cost prohibitive. We've since reached consensus on that to a point where they're less cost prohibitive.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. Jean Brown.
Jeannie Brown for the Historical Society, 559 East Park. I first of all thank you all for supporting our gala event the other night. Thank Police Commissioner, and I want to publicly thank part of our committee who are here tonight. Thank you, City Manager. It was a resounding success. We're all thrilled that everybody had a good time, that it came off so nice. We're, just over the moon about it. However, that only replenishes some of our reserves. And I'm here tonight to ask you, I know that you're, planning next year's calendar, and we're asking that you please consider restoring the boardwalk festivals, because that is what has been our main source of, I didn't know. It's been our main source of revenue, and it's a very popular event. It brings people into town. It's festive. We need festive now. John just said how wonderful the Fall Festival was, and it was, resounding success. So we hope that we can have some kind of meeting and that those logistics can be worked out somehow so that we can have them, okay? Thank you very much.
Thank you. Crystal Lake.
Crystal Lake, Long Beach, New York. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for your ongoing updates, Mr. Barrios. However...
Wait, Crystal, I don't think they can hear you back there.
Can
No.
you hear me? Yeah. Start the clock over. Please. Can everyone hear me now? Hello?
Pretend you're going to yell at me. Let's go.
Hello?
Yes.
Hello?
Yes.
Okay. Again, thank you everyone for the ongoing updates. However, yes, there is a crucial need for an open forum public hearing. Both entities need to hear, see the pain, the suffering, the residents' concerns regarding this long overdue matter. The MTA Long Island Railroad representative did give his contact information within the emails, which I think was a good open door policy for future discussions. So as compared to the ongoing, we're still negotiating, we do have an understanding of negotiations. Regards to the property, what's the linear footage of the Long Island Railroad's property?
The entire length of the project is approximately 2,800 linear feet. The railroad portion is probably about 200 linear feet. It's a small percentage of the project.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Fabrizio. New York State Division of Homeland Security Emergency Services, contract 000714, 300 linear feet. This is such a small area. And with regards to Bayfront, there's many pieces to this puzzle that are overlapping to get to the end result. So does this component have to occur first? Does this component of all of the overlying implementation stages and phases have to occur prior to this project beginning? There's so many unanswered questions regards to the remediation component of the area where to the right and to the left of the LIRR's property. Is that property is owned by the city of Long Beach? Is the area of concern, is it on the MTA's property? Is it on the city of Long Beach's property? Or is it combined? This is why we need to have this open dialogue. Okay. There are questions that might not be within the negotiation table. However, there are still many unanswered questions, and this can't be accomplished, unfortunately, within 3 minutes. I love the city of Long Beach. This is my home, but please understand, I was one of those little children who, fortunately, family owned a rowboat to ride down East Harrison Street in the flooding. So please understand, you know, this is a long time situation, and the public hearing needs to occur because I have many questions that I can ask, and that I think that each and every entity should be at the table so I can hear what they have to say, so they can hear what we and others have to say. It's not just about, thank you.
Thank you, Ms.
for your
Lake.
time.
City Manager Gaydon, Hector Garcia from the MTA LIRR has been willing to reach out to Ms. Lake to discuss this issue. Is there anything that the city can do to get involved in the process, or must it go directly between the community and the LIRR?
Well, so again, I'm just going to repeat. I can understand the need. I'm not taking away anything from where you're coming from, Ms. Lake. I'm saying that what the attorneys have to do is agree upon language for a contract. I'm not sure exactly what unanswered questions you have, but with respect to an actual negotiation at the table, that's something I'm tasked with doing. I don't think the city is necessarily opposed to having a public forum where we talk about the nuts and bolts of what the project is, which Mr. Fabrizio has done on numerous occasions. But to put it simply, my job is to negotiate the contract, which is a portion of the overall project. The one question you alluded to was, does this have to get done in order for the rest to get done? The answer is yes, which is why I'm continuously updating. We're continuously working with the railroad to hash it out, and so we can get the project going.
Okay, and I thank you for your comments. However, City Council can have an open forum with all concerned parties. The litigation component doesn't necessarily have to be addressed at that time. However, North Park is an environmental justice community. It is also a New York State disadvantaged community where there's an extreme amount of available resources and funding. But yet and still, when we do have the funding, we practically have to beg for the implementation, which I think is absolutely horrendous. Okay, it doesn't matter what information I find, where the information is obtained from, local, federal, state entities, their own documentation that is also supposed to protect all communities. And for all my life, okay, I've been here. I paid my way as I should have, okay, just like everyone else. I'm retired now, and I'd like my concerns and everyone else's concerns from, let's say, for example, North Shore East has flood protection. North Shore West has flood protection. The Ocean Side has flood protection. North Shore Central does not. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for your time.
Thank you, Ms. Lake. That's all for tonight.
May I just say one thing?
Okay.
Ms. Lake, I'm not saying that I cannot, I'm saying that as an attorney, my job is to negotiate. That portion of the work isn't open to the public. You're absolutely right. Mr. Hodge, you're absolutely right. You're standing up and shaking. The city council can hold a public hearing on whatever it sees fit. You all have the right as constituents to come up at Good and Welfare and raise your concerns. We can invite everyone to the table, right? I'm just saying what my function and my role is to negotiate this agreement. That's all.
I know. Please invite Mr. Garcia. Thank you. Have a
Thank you
wonderful
very
day.
much. Have a good evening, everyone. Thank you for your participation this evening.